Hey everybody, it's Heather from Resume Insider, and in this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Canva to create a banner image for your LinkedIn profile. Now, when I say banner, I'm talking about the image that underlaps your own profile photo. It's at the top of your profile. Some people might call it a background or a cover photo. It's all the same thing, so that's what we're focused on. And I'm here in Canva, which is a free tool that you can use. It's one of my favorite tools that I use for my business. It makes it really, really easy to design things, and I will show you what you can do with the free account. Starting here on the home page, there's tons of clickable stuff. Don't get distracted. We're just doing a LinkedIn banner here. So what I recommend that you do is go up here to the top, type in LinkedIn, you can spell it right, and you'll see all the different options that you have available. Now, one of the things that Canva is really good at is knowing which dimensions are preferred or required for any of the different types of images that you would potentially be wanting to create. So as you see here, these are all the different types of images that you might create for LinkedIn. And what we want to use is a banner template. And you'll see there's two banner template options here. It doesn't actually matter which one you pick. One is for a banner for your personal profile. The other is for a banner for a business page. Dimensions are the same for each. And we're not going to be using any of their fancy schmancy designs. And I'll show you why we won't be doing that. So I'm just going to click on one of these here. And you'll see all of the design options to the left. Now, if you're anything like me and experiencing this for the first time, you might look at all of these designs on the left and get really excited about the possibility of creating something like this for your LinkedIn profile. But there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. Canva's great at so many things. And like I said, it's one of my favorite tools. But what they are not great at is creating design templates that take into account the peculiarities of a space like LinkedIn. So for example, images with small text do not render well on LinkedIn. And in fact, images with, kind of big chunky graphics, like maybe this one right here, they'll look fuzzy when you put them on LinkedIn. Canva also doesn't take into account the fact that your cover photo is going to overlap this corner here on desktop and possibly down here when your profile is viewed on mobile, which is probably how most people are going to be viewing it. So, you wouldn't want to put something like this where your profile photo is going to cover up, part of what you've got going on there. And frankly, I just don't like words on banners in general for LinkedIn. And that brings me actually to my third reason why you don't want to use these templates. And it's primarily that it's not what recruiters want to see, or hiring managers, or, people who you are interacting with professionally. You don't want them to get distracted by your banner. You want your banner to just be something that supports your personal brand, that creates a little bit of visual image, but again, not too distracting, and that makes your profile memorable. So we will be starting with this blank template. Again, you can minimize this so you don't have to keep getting tempted by those pretty designs. Okay, so there's two different things I'm going to show you that you can do to create one of these images. So one is to add a photo, and the other is to create a background. So I'm going to start with the photo and show you how easy it is to do this. Now, Canva has their own collection of free photos. It's basically like going to a website for stock photography. And if you haven't looked at any of these recently, they've gotten a lot better. There's still a bunch of the, cheesy stuff with people in blue suits giving thumbs up and high-fiving and stuff like that. But there's also some fairly decent photography, and you'll be able to scroll through and find things that you potentially really like. If you don't, there are other websites where you can go to for other photography. So Raw Pixel is my favorite, but a lot of people also like Unsplash and Pexels. If you want to use one of these sites, you can upload your images here, but we're going to keep it simple and work with Canva's own photography. see here all of these different images. I don't know if these are, oh, they're trending. So I don't know why they add trending on here, because the last thing that I would want to do is use an image that everybody else is using, but I don't know. I guess that sounded like a good idea to someone at Canva. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use some search terms. Now, if you read my blog post, you saw my explanation of how I came up with the image for my cover photo or my banner photo. So you want something that kind of suggests your field of work or your industry, but isn't so overly too on the nose. You just want something that's kind of evokes the sense of that profession. So because I work in the recruiting space and helping job seekers, I want to use something that maybe shows people in a work environment or a group of people. So I'm going to use the word happy employees. Let's do that. Oh boy. Okay. So here's a lot of that bad stock photography. Oh, look at thumbs up, man. All right, so you have options here. The ones with the little crown are for people who have a pro account. I think you can also buy them. If I recall correctly, I know before I had the pro account, I used to buy these, I think, for $1 each or something like that. So anyway, find something that you like. Again, keeping in mind that you want a little bit of like dead space over here in your image. And if you've got an image, you know, a lot of times you can stretch it or do something to create a little bit more of that dead space. Let's see here. This is feeling a little too stock photography-ish. Get office background, let's try that. So it might, oh, this is good. So it might take some kind of hunting for you to find something that's going to work for you. I am just going to pick, oh, that was a paid one. I want a free one. There we go. Okay, so let's say I want to use this image. Now, for this, because I know that my cover photo is going to be here, I might want to flip this. There we go. Do a little flip, and you can drag it around. You can increase the size, the orientation. Yeah, that might work for me. And once you get here, you've got something that would work for you. You know, your cover photo or your profile photo won't cover anything up. Maybe you work as an admin assistant or a receptionist or at a media company or something where this would make sense for you. So again, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on the composition here. You can play around with it and, you know, come up with something that's visually appealing for you. So that's what to do if you want to add a photo. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to show you how to add a background. So the first thing that you should do, or at least think about, is your kind of color story here. So you can use whatever color you want. So there's all of these kind of very bright colors that are default here, but you might want to do something, you know, I really like greens. So you can just type in a word and it will give you a whole bunch of different options that you can use here, and you can just pick something that appeals to you. That's nice. So, you know, that would provide some interest to your LinkedIn profile, but it's not super exciting if it's just a plain color background. So what you might want to do is add something on top of it. So when you're thinking about how Canva works, think about it as everything's on a piece of paper and you're just rearranging the paper on a desktop. So we've got a big green piece of paper here. I might drag a piece of paper with a pattern or a texture on top of it, or I could even add a shape like this on top of it, drag it around, change the size. Like maybe I just want, you know, some green stripes of different colors. I'm going to add some different colors here. Anytime you click on something and go up here, you can change. Oops, that's not going to help. Let's do that. Change the color. So you know, I could even create something like this, but if I really wanted to get like a texture or something a little bit more interesting, you go to background. So I was in elements, and you can either search the word backgrounds or it might be suggested for you up here. And there's all these different options. Now, first of all, you don't want to do a GIF on the top of your LinkedIn profile. And a lot of these are super, super busy. But again, go through, see if there's anything that appeals to you. This is just an example. Maybe I'm a florist and I want to add this to my background. I can take this, I can increase the size, I can crop this. So let's say that I just wanted to bring it over a little bit like that. I can kind of drag it around, and I can, with a lot of these backgrounds or graphics, you can actually change the color. So if you click on it, let's say I want to use that color, ta-da, beautiful. All right, so you could do that. You can create a kind of graphic yourself. You can also take a graphic, let me get back here to just our green space, and you can also create a graphic that is just consistent across the whole, you know, the whole banner. So you would do this and just stretch it out. I'd have to go down here. I'm gonna view this much smaller. And you know, just continue to stretch it out to whatever size you want. A lot of the patterns also, let me remove this and show you, a lot of the patterns will repeat. So let me change this to another color again. So if I take this and I'm gonna Control C and Control V, see if it, look at that, it matches up perfectly. So you can just turn this into almost like a wallpaper by just adding, again, I'm just doing Control C and Control V, just adding additional elements with the same image, and you can end up with something like that. So tons of options here for you to design to your heart's content. Just remember, like, perfect is the enemy of good, or great is the enemy of good, or perfect is the enemy of great, whatever. You know, you don't need to make it look like you're a designer unless you are, in which case, you know, you probably wouldn't be wanting to do this in Canva, or you'd already know how to do this. So, you know, super, super simple. Just get something that says a little bit of something about who you are as a professional and what you do. So let's say that this is the image that I want to add to my background. I'm going to click this download button. Now, it's not going to let me download anything because I haven't actually signed up for this free account yet, but you will be able to, and it will let you pick the type of image format or document format or graphic format that you want to use. So I would recommend, I always default to PNG if it's on a social media page, because they are higher quality, might take a little bit longer to load, but that's LinkedIn's problem, not mine. So in this case, I would select a PNG. Your other option is JPEG. I wouldn't really add any of these other options. They don't really make sense. So you would click that, and then you would download it to your desktop. And that's it. That is how you create a LinkedIn banner on Canva. I hope this helped you guys. Bye.